So who dat, I guess.
Who dat? How do we get to your Google Docs? Like your PowerPoint?
You don't. I'm sorry? Did I go out last night? No? Did you? Where'd you go? Sorry? How'd that go for you?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Not enough things to set on fire.
Matt Harris. Hey, Matt. What's YouTube doing?
YouTube is getting in on the movie rental market, like Netflix, but
Louder?
YouTube is basically getting in on the online movie rental market, but they're going to feature films by independent filmmakers, and they only have 5 films available right now.
They have 5 films. What are they?
Just films that
Cop and a Half. No. What films do they have?
There were films submitted to film festivals.
Why is YouTube doing this?
They want to help the independent filmmakers widen their.
That's why they're doing it?
Well, I'm not sure if that's why they're doing it. That's what they want to kind of help. They want to open more doors for independent.
So they're just being nice?
No, it's not being nice, but that's kind of. It's a reason to do it, other than to make money.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get a lot of business by dealing with independent filmmakers. And it's gonna by people trying to get into different entrepreneurs trying to get into different businesses. They're gonna get a lot of business with the independent film.
Is it a good business? Is it a good business?
Yeah,
Based on what?
based on the numbers of independent filmmakers.
I'm sorry?
Based on the numbers of independent filmmakers.
So YouTube or Google is going to charge independent filmmakers to put their films up?
I don't know, but they should. I would think so.
No, they're not going to. I'm trying to get a handle on why it's a good business. Who thinks it's a good business? Who thinks YouTube is a good business? Why? I'm sorry?
It's so available.
I'm sorry?
It's so available.
It's a good business because it's so available. Go ahead.
I think YouTube's a good business because they have a lot of traffic going through the website, and it's good for advertising.
They have a lot of traffic, and it's, what do you mean it's good for advertising?
Because there's a lot of traffic and a lot of people going to the site, advertisers are more willing to pay to put their ads on the
Okay,
website.
getting somewhere. Who else thinks it's a good business? Why? Advertising, yeah, why? Advertising. So how do we measure this advertising thing? How's that working? Yeah?
The views.
The views? What do we look for? You got a website. Wow, those are amazing sneakers.
You're like the third class to tell me that.
Whoa, I mean, they're like blasting off into my, come stand up here so everybody can see these sneakers. Yeah. I was going to ask you to take them up, but I thought there may be repercussions.
I can rap too. Check out my big.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Go. I don't mind cursing. Fuck no.
Okay, this is a rap I wrote a long time.
Just start rapping, brother. Go.
Ever since the beginning, ever since the start, it's been engraved in my membrane to rip things apart. Jay-Z said it best, ain't no love in my city. So every single move I choose has gotta be witty. Most niggas that crossed my path was softer than a titty. It was hard for them to last if the situation's gritty. Meanwhile, them hood niggas are grinding with the best of them. Objective is to shine and put diamonds on the necks of the niggas on their side because they ride right next to them. They work with powder daily like they live in ladies' restaurants. I'm kind of the same, plus I know that I'm the best. But I'm talking rap game, and let me quote Kanye West. You can't tell me nothing since I got my money right and I'm a champion in the ring, all I see is flashing lights. I'm not greedy with the glory, I give props to my fam, because everything I'm not made me everything I am. Now here's a little about me. I reppin' double P, I am a lyricist, and I will never cease to exist. I'm the shit, you know this, I'm a beast. I bark when I spit, and I'm quick to defeat. Any nigga in my way, I'll bring him to his knee, then I beat him down further, you can start kissing my feet. And I can switch my fucking style like I changed my direction. They won't know how I did it like I came without an erection. I love this crazy shit. I love this crazy shit. Insane in my selection, deranged without protection. I aim to be the bestest. This kid is so ill, I've been known to spit asbestos. But I never had a challenge, so my skills are still restless. And with that being said, I'll eat your ass for breakfast. And sooner or later, I know I'll come back for seconds. Seconds turn to minutes, turn to hours, turn to days, and any amount of time I leave the crowd in the days. Jaws drop like old boobs and they forced to give praise. They know I'm original. They know I'm original like a plain bag of lays.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, my MySpace actually. Okay, I have a Reverb Nation, I have a Twitter. I have, Twitter, twitter.com.
What's best?
Twitter.
Why?
Because I'm always on Twitter.
How many people here on Twitter? Okay. What about Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
You have Facebook?
Search me up,
How many people here on Facebook? What's better?
Look me up, Alfred Banks.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
You think how many Alfred Banks are they going to find?
the one with the red shirt on. The
Yeah, that'll work. Do you have a fan page?
I have one. I'm in the process of making it. I'm still in the middle.
You stood up here. Sit down. You stood up here and you impressed 100 or so people, and we want to learn more. Some people here do. Some people may never want to learn anything more about you, but in any case, and we can't. Is that a problem?
Yeah. Like I have.
You've clearly spent a lot of time getting, as one might say, the mouthpiece to be nice, right? But you've devoted little to no time creating any type of online presence. Is that wrong or right?
That's kind of wrong.
Kind of wrong. Okay. What have you devoted your time to?
Like I said, I have my Twitter, I have my Facebook.
How many followers do you have on Twitter?
I got like 500 now.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay.
Started.
But you've got no site of your own, right?
I got my blog spot.
You have a blog spot. Okay. You don't have a Facebook fan page. You just have kind of your personal page. Yeah.
But like I said, I'm in the process of making my fan page.
All right. Well, look. What would you like me to put up here so that anyone who might be interested can find you?
Twitter,
Okay. You're what?
lyrics, L-Y.
I know how to spell lyrics, unless it's a funny.
It's with a Q. Lyrics 1. Yeah.
All right. Lyrics 1. Well, thank you. That was very good.
Thanks for your attention, guys.
Do you have any mixtapes out? Do you have anything?
Yeah, thatfit.com. Type in that without the one. You get my
Go ahead.
We in a business class,
Yes.
and you know how they got like Burger King, or they got McDonald's who say they got the double cheeseburger, you know what I'm saying? And then Burger King come out like, hey, my double cheeseburger better than yours. It's bigger than yours. You know what I'm saying? And I rap too, you know what I'm saying? Check it out. They try to get me to stop, but I never pause. Tech Nines is something y'all want, and me and Tech Nines is like Wolverine and Metal Claws. I'm yet to start because I realize that I'm better off popping Berettas off, leaving y'all with the cheddar laws. One eye closed, my cyclopic way of aim help me hit you from long range, so take a brain that I've never solved. You want water, come on, but I must warn you, my gas long enough to bang you from around the corner. Let it get your armor. It's the rapper Jeffrey Dahmer with a knife made of harsh words, turning you to hors d'oeuvres. Go ahead, boot up, get your head chewed up. Kamikaze style, get your whole clique blew up. I'm gonna be here for a while, so your mind's well get used up. Be in second place, that means you're the first who's up. My mentality is through that. Underestimate this new cat, I might get disorderly, you get all of your shoes snatched. You can think that I'm talking just to be talking, to talking, turning to spoken, and spoke to you close to your golfing. And I'll be riding alone. Up in the ride, no chrome. Only chrome won't stop them alone. Cause it's no game. Under more pressure than propane. Red apple for sure aim. So go ahead and throw flames. The best at it ever since I took a crack at it. Pop jack rabbits till it wheezing like an asthmatic. The reflection in the Cartier watch reminds me that I'm a gangster. Or one or two Glocks. Slim fella, tall red nigga, got a little cheddar. I'll turn your hood rat bitch into a Cinderella. Spin a fella head around like the Exorcist. Stepping off on your necklaces. Run off in your household, turn your wives into Jane Doe's. Go do like Jay-Z and Pharrell and go change clothes. Now it's back to the strips and things. My tits keeping you from looking at my whips and things. Got my ears to the street so I'll be hip to things. Got the burn on the hips and things. I'm a one-man army. You click garbage, you pure trash and you full of shit. You are a pure ass. I'm a dick on Viagra. I'm a hard as a hammer. You saw things on my hammer. Only my hammer keep me protected. Hey, hold up. I don't want to talk. Leave me a message. My message to you crew is get to stepping. And I hope that you listen, because I heard your brain's a terrible thing to waste and a terrible thing to taste when it's leaking down your face. If I keep it closed up.
Where might we find out?
My biggest thing right now is the Facebook. I've been uploading a lot of videos and stuff to Facebook.com/TAZHB. They ain't that bright, you know what I'm saying? But I just got those normal lows on, you know what I mean?
Anyone else?
Top billion, E-Rats.
What-
Billion videos on YouTube, that's Bandcamp.
Next class. Next class.
Paul Patella rap.
Paul Vitello. Sarah Saladino. What's going on?
Walmart announced last Sunday that it is laying off, there was like 1,100 of its employees from Sam's.
1,200 membership recruit jobs, 10,000 product demonstrators. So like 11,000. How can this be?
They said that it's not because of the economy, but they didn't really say in the article why they're doing it. But one of their spokespeople said that, no, it was an analysis said that they think that they're remodeling by laying off the membership people, that they're like remodeling their like game plan, like they're changing the way that they do things.
Well, it can't be good for those people being laid off, right? How was working through your mantras and missions? It seemed jive. Is it helpful? We learning anything so far? Are we coming together at all? I think it's good that you guys did the rapping. We have to remember why we're doing what we're doing. I've said a lot that I suffer through all of the legal stuff, all of the business elements, all of the things that I go through daily so that I get the musical reward, right? And that's what the purpose is, okay? If you don't have belief, I'd say this is true of any business, right? There's an interesting new book out if anybody's interested. And let me just, I was trying to avoid saying this, but I've been at the hospital and the doctor all day, and they took a bunch of blood. So if I'm a little off my game today, it's because I have less blood than I usually do. So there's a guy named Seth Godin who I really recommend you read his books. Anybody read any of his books yet? What do you think?
Permission marketing.
Permission Marketing. Is that what you read too? Okay. So he's got a bunch of books, but his new one's called Lynchpin. And the premise of it is that we're all, let me rephrase that. He's redefining the word artist, okay? We all think of artists as musicians or painters or whatever, but what he's saying is that our economy now demands people that think artistically whether they're in an artistic business or not, okay? And this is good for all of us. I started the class, several weeks ago or a week or so ago, whenever it was, saying that we can outsource a lot of these other things, that it's no longer okay to be a cog, right? To be somebody that goes to work and just kind of pushes paper or what have you, that if you're going to succeed, or the people that are going to succeed are those that push the ball, right? Those that kind of move the needle, those that innovate. And they become, okay, does anybody know what a linchpin is? What's a linchpin? Anybody who's worked on a farm or somebody, it's okay if you worked on a farm. Nobody? So, I'm sorry? Say it again. No, you're right. Say it louder.
It's a little thing that holds something else on it.
Yeah, now wrap it.
My shoes suck too.
You what? Your shoes suck too? Yeah, I like your t-shirt. What's on your shirt?
It's like a little Mongolian dude. Andrew Bird.
It's an Andrew Bird t-shirt.
Yeah.
I signed Andrew. I put out his records. We love Andrew Bird, right? So Andrew Bird is somebody that that is a creative artist in his own little niche. When
Really weird in person.
I prefer not to use the pejorative. I think he's eccentric. I'm sorry?
Spacey kind of.
No, he's very, very incredibly smart. Incredibly smart.
I mean, like on stage, he looks really like.
Well, he gets in the zone, right? He gets in that what we've talked about, this kind of flow state. When you were doing your amazing rapping, right? You could see it was harder for you. I put you on the spot. You had time to sit there and think about it. You stood up, you started going, and about 35 seconds into it, it changed from being something that you were actively thinking about to something that you were just doing, and that's when it got really good, right? You got there too. You had been thinking about it, you kind of came out a little more strongly, but there was a moment in each of you guys where it started to just kind of flow. Andrew does that when he's on stage. He kind of just drifts along. I would contend that people do that in business too. I contend that that's your purpose idea. I contend that if you can start working through something to a place where you lose track of the time, it means that you're in that flow state, right? It looks spacey or whatever, but it really means is that you're deeply focused. And back to your idea of a linchpin. I think of a linchpin, when I was a little kid, my grandparents lived in rural Maryland, and we had this John Deere tractor. And in order to put this, the wagon on the tractor so I could, risk death for myself and my siblings, you'd slide it together, and then you'd slide, I believe the actual term is a cotter pin, but it serves the same purpose, a little tiny piece of metal, right? And you're driving the tractor along, this big, complex machine, and you're pulling a wagon behind, and the thing that's holding both of those things together is a little piece of metal. You take that out, the wagon kind of collapses, the tractor drives off. So a linchpin is this crucial thing. And if you think of yourself as individuals as linchpins, right, as something that, the Latin sine qua non, without this there is nothing, that's where you want to be, right? In the band that you work in the music business, in whatever business. And I promise you, you won't get there until you figure out what your purpose is. You won't get there until you've worked through all this stuff that I'm pushing you to work through. And I can see some of you are working through it harder than others, okay? But one way or the other, you're all going to work through it, or you're going to lead, and this is Seth's point of view, you're going to lead a deeply unsatisfied life, right? He contends, and I agree, that until you find that linchpin moment, that purpose idea, right, you're just a cog. You're unimportant. You're answering to someone else. You're non-autonomous, right? And in an era where if you are non-autonomous, such as those poor Walmart people, right, what are you? expendable, right? Every one of those people that Walmart fired was by definition expendable, or else they wouldn't have been fired. Not one of those people that Walmart fired was a linchpin. So studying business these days is a really, really kind of interesting discipline, because we've gone from this idea of, okay, you can develop a capability. You can be a very good accountant. You can be whatever. Get into kind of middle management. What's middle management? You're not the boss, but you're not at the bottom. And it used to be that you could just kind of ride along there. Companies simply can't afford to do that anymore. So we've got to find how we can become linchpins. And as Seth says, it's the artists. Is it possible to be a landscape designer that you think of as an artist? Right? I used to, Seth trumped me, but my term was a virtuoso. Right? I wrote a blog post a couple years ago, since taking blood is on my mind. And this woman who took my blood today was by no means a virtuoso. Took her forever to find the vein. But my little son had to have his blood taken when he was about 6 months old. Right? Now, 6 months old vein, that's hardcore, right? I'm not 6 months old. My veins are much bigger, and lady could not find mine, right? What are you doing, right? But so anyway, I take Henry to the children's hospital, right? And they sit him on my lap, and you know it's breaking your heart as a parent. And they take his little arm up, which is, he's 6 months old, it's tiny, right? And they put the little thing on him. He doesn't know what the hell's going on, and I'm talking to him, trying to distract him or whatever. And this guy kind of hits it in the first time. Henry doesn't even blink. He just kind of didn't even blink. I'm, of course, crying, right? You wait, you laugh, you wait. You have parents. And I immediately ran home, because this is what I do, and wrote up this blog post about this guy's a virtuoso. This guy can take blood at the level that Jay-Z raps, right? He's found his thing. He's a linchpin. Because I tell you what, when you're a parent and somebody's about to stick a needle in your 6 months old arm, you want the Jay-Z of blood taking doing that. You really do. And that guy is indispensable. So that guy is an artist. That guy is a virtuoso. That guy has spent the hours and the time to do that. And it's quiet, right? He's not going to get on stage and have Beyonce throwing himself at him, unless maybe Jay-Z needs his blood taken, right? But we're all artists. And finding that thing that we can be virtuosic on is the goal. The alternative, by the way, is unemployment. Olivia, what's going on with Sodexo?
They're in like deep trouble with the service employees in the national union, which is like a huge, like a massive labor union of like millions of people.
Where does Sodexo do business?
All different countries.
They're a French company.
Yeah, they're French. They do
But-
business in France,
and-
United States. Right here. Yeah.
Don't they supply Loyola's food? Yeah. So what happened? What did they do?
Well, they haven't really done anything yet, but they're, like, people are coming to the shareholders meeting this week in France to sort of like have a face-off, which is like kind of awkward, and the union is like bringing representatives.
Uh-huh. What is the problem? What's the issue?
The union is accusing them of paying just ridiculously low wages and making it impossible for their workers to get
So why are they able to do this?
Why is,
Sodexo able to get away with this?
I mean, they're a huge multinational corporation, and they basically, I mean, the article is pretty short, but I mean, they pretty much, you know, point to like the awards they've gotten for diversity, and they don't really deny or give a reason why the accusations are untrue. They just,
So who's going to get eliminated, Olivia?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, you do. Who's going to get fired?
Probably a lot of workers, the
Yeah.
workers that file complaints probably.
Those that aren't essential, right? Those that aren't linchpins. Okay, so last time we talked about a number of things. So we kind of left this idea that a business has to have a competitive advantage, right? And I was imploring you not to think of it as just being cheaper than the other guy, right? 'Cause somebody can also be cheaper. Give me an example of a business that has found a way that nobody can do it more cheaply than they can. Yeah? No. No. Pardon?
Ross Michaels.
I don't know what any of those things are. Oh, no, no. It's a business that cannot be undercut. Yeah? No. 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 It's one of the top 10 most visited websites on the internet. You've all been there. Absolutely not. No. 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 You're missing one. You have all used it. Craigslist. Did you say it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, I'm not just trying to ignore you. I honestly didn't hear you. Craigslist has about 30 people working for them, and they've got revenue of, do you know off the top of your head what Craigslist, I mean, I want to say, and I could be wrong, don't hold this to me, over $100 million, okay? I mean, it is crazy. How come they can't be undercut? I'm sorry?
Because the people who are using it placing how much money they've been spent. Like,
How much does it cost to put an ad on Craigslist? Right? Nothing. So if somebody came along and said, okay, my competitive advantage is it's Craigslist, but cheaper, how's that going to go? You're going to pay the person to put a thing up? How does Craigslist make money? Sorry? No. Percentage of what? Sorry? No, there's no advertising.
Whatever the person's putting up, they get a piece of that or something?
Nope, that's eBay. No, they don't take a percentage. Jared, I know you know. You've had class with me before, right? The camera guy is answering the questions. So they have one very specific part of their site where they do charge. They charge certain businesses to run help wanted ads. Okay? This is effective because they don't charge anyone else, so they get massive, massive traffic to the site. So these businesses go, man, everybody's here anyway. But my point is they've come up with this model that is so beautiful. How do you compete with that? How does the Craigslist website look? Horrible, right? Looks like it was built in around 1997. You know why? It was built in around 1997. And they see no reason to change it. When you're making $100 million a year and you got 30 people working for you, why would you screw up something that ain't broke? Right? Now somebody could come along and say, okay, we're going to make it a much more functional thing. Why will they most likely lose? Will cost more money. Why else? You want to start a new Craigslist and you can make it look better. Why will you most likely lose? In the back. Oh, very good. I appreciate the listening. Learn new skills, part of it. Yeah, and the white and the hat. Exactly. Where's the first place all of you go when you're looking for something or you want to unload some piece of crap? Craigslist. So how, in God's name, is some new entrant into the field going to come along and say, no, yeah, Craigslist is good, try mine. What's the problem? Sorry? Well, even if you did want to try ours, what's the problem? What? No, we make you know about it. Why still doesn't it make sense for you to try it? Go ahead. No. There's already this massive market there. If you can say, okay, I got a couch I want to sell, I'm going to put it on this new site that looks great, but there are only 100,000 or 100 people on there, or I can put it on Craigslist where millions of people are on, where am I going to go? Craigslist. They have scale. They've got this thing where unless they screw it up, it's going to be really hard for anyone to take them down. Facebook is in the same place. Unless Facebook really screws it up, it's going to be hard for somebody to take them down because they're so big. Now, you could have said the same thing about which company a couple years ago? MySpace. What else?
I feel like Facebook's already screwing up the whole time.
How so?
Like, they keep revamping the site, and now, like, every time I talk to my friends, wherever they be, like, all over the U.S., like, the service just cuts out. Like, I don't know, the past week, crashed the entire thing.
Yeah, they're definitely having issues. Where are your friends going?
I have a kid, a friend in L.A.
No. Where are they going if they're not using Facebook? Yeah. Pre-MySpace, pre-all that, what was the company that was unassailable, that the government actually stepped in and said, you know, this is a monopoly? No. Not AOL, not Friendster. The Borg, right? Microsoft. Microsoft was so big. How does Microsoft make their money? Software, meaning what? Huh? Meaning what? How do they make their money off of Windows? Everything runs on Windows. What does that mean? Think through the revenue process. How are they getting paid, and by whom? That's not really how they're making most of their money. How are they making most of their money? Yeah. Anytime does Microsoft make computers? No. Anytime Dell or Compaq or HP or whatever sells a computer, what does it come bundled with? Windows. So every one of those computers has to pay a license to Microsoft. It's a crazy thing, right? And yet, what's going on? How's Microsoft doing? Doing okay. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They're making a fortune. But who is their biggest threat? No. Who's Microsoft's biggest? Remember, Microsoft does not make computers. Apple makes hardware. Apple is a threat to a degree, but who's really Microsoft's biggest threat? Google. Why? A new operating system is free, but even before that, you want to, what is this? What am I using to show this? PowerPoint? Google Docs. They've created a substitute that costs what? So what's their competitive advantage? It's cheaper. I'd also say it's better. If I want to do this PowerPoint, I mean, somebody even asked, how do I gain access to your Google Docs? Well, my answer to you is you don't. I'll post it to Blackboard, but I could. It's got me thinking maybe it'd be a whole lot easier because now they're all up there if I could just give you all access, you know. But if you have access, I mean, you can give read or write, but if I just have a PowerPoint file and I want somebody else to add something to it, I got to email them the thing, they got to make the changes, email it back to me. Here, you could go up there and change the slide. That's important. The only way that you can survive is to do one thing better than every other organization. We talked about this. Does this make sense? This idea of attraction and retention, does it make sense for you bands? Right? in an age where you're not really selling the CD so much. You're really not even selling the download. So what are we doing? How do we make money off of this? You take this, what was the term I used? Non-scarce item, and then you try and sell someone something that's scarce. The business term for this is what? No. Anybody know that term? Freemium? What does that mean? What's freemium? What's a freemium-based business model? Nobody. You use them all the time. Go ahead. Take a guess.
It seems like it's similar to premium. So if you're paying for a premium product, then premium must mean you get it free.
No. Close, though. I appreciate you're willing to try. Anybody want to take a stab? Yeah. No. Somebody else? Yeah. Go ahead. A little louder. I'm sorry.
It's like a website that's free that you can use that helps you a lot.
Well, that would just be free. Okay. So what freemium is this idea of we're going to let you in through the door. It's basically a drug dealer model. Okay. First one's free, right? We're going to let you in through the door, hopefully get you to stick around. But if you want other stuff, we're going to start charging you for it. Did anybody have a current event that relates to this in the New York Times? You? Go ahead, redeem yourself. Now, what does your shirt say? Listen to Dirt's Nasty. What is Dirt Nasty? He's a bad rapper, and yet you're compelling us all to listen to Dirt Nasty. Are you Dirt Nasty? Would you like to rap? Okay. So did you have the New York Times article?
Is basically they're going to let you come look at, like, I don't know if they're going to let you look at the top stories, but there's like a certain amount of stories you can read, and after that they're like, unless you want to keep reading, you have to.
Exactly. Do you get it? You come in through the door, the New York Times, you go to the site, you're looking around at stuff. At a certain point, they're going to say, you want to keep looking, or you want this other stuff? We're going to charge you. The Wall Street Journal already does this. Any other examples now that you know what it means? Yes? Pandora. Tell me why.
You can listen to an amount of hours of music, but eventually they say pay us for it.
Yeah. And also, what's a... Go ahead.
Picnic, like the photo editing.
Excellent. Tell us about it.
Because there's like a whole bunch of stuff that you can do for free, but then they'll have like other editing things that it's like premium and you have to like be a member and pay for it.
So Picnic, that's a great example. You can do certain stuff for free on that site. And what is your name? Alexandra. Why do they do that? Why do they give you something for free? To attract you. And then they say, look, play around with this. See if you like it. Oh, and by the way, we're going to put a wall in there. We're not going to tell you exactly where, but we're going to figure out exactly that wall where most people want to do that one extra thing. And then what are we going to do? We're going to make you pay for it. You guys have all been there at one point. You're like, oh, wow, this looks really cool. Oh, now I got to pay. So can this apply to music? How? Go ahead.
You have to sound when they charge you after 5 times in a month. And there's also Groove Shark that's better than Pandora.
Well, Groove Shark's also illegal.
I
But
haven't find any restriction with Groove Shark.
yeah, Groove Shark. Go ahead.
I know I was on some website the other day and was listening to a CD, but they only gave me like a 30-second snippet. And, after that, I had to pay.
Is Lala relevant? Because Lala lets you listen to one song one time.
But then what? Then you got to pay for it if you want to listen to it again. It's I don't know if it's strictly a freemium model, but the thinking is right. You know, and you got to conceive of this because remember, our goal is attraction and retention. Our goal, get people to know about us, attract us, and keep them around. Yeah.
No, I like used to do this. I'm not sure if I like still does this.
Who?
I like.
I like. Yeah.
They did this thing where you could listen to a full track like 25 times for free, and if you listen to it
That's exactly the model. Evernote, anybody use Evernote, the note-taking thing? I mean, there's tons of these things. So profits are byproducts, right? We serve the customers. We provide outstanding products. And the reward is wealth. Pandora just became profitable, right? The reason I was kind of wrestling with the whole Google, YouTube thing, I don't see a business model there. Call me crazy. I get it for Google. Google had to buy YouTube for one reason and one reason only. They had to buy YouTube because people were searching for videos. And if Google's mission is to what? Google's mission is to organize the world's information. If people are searching for videos, they darn better be able to search for stuff. It's why they want to buy Twitter. More and more people are searching for stuff right in Twitter. It's better, right? Because you're getting real-time results. If I see something, if I get the inkling of something going on, I'm going to search Twitter before I search Google. But guess what? Now Google's indexing those Twitters, right? What can't Google find? What's walled off from Google? No. Well, you know, what information can't they get to? Yeah.
Government, military information?
No. I mean, well, there's something much more obvious than that. Facebook. If you do a search on Google, you can find a Facebook user profile. But you can't find any of the information inside the walls of Facebook. Facebook has kept Google out. Why would they do this? They do not care about privacy. Mark Zuckerberg said a couple days ago if he started Facebook today, he wouldn't have even bothered with any of the privacy stuff. They don't care about privacy, and guess what? You guys have to stop caring about it. You have to start thinking in terms of privacy doesn't really exist online. So you're going to be transparent, and you better be okay with that. This privacy thing, forget it. You can be private, but get offline. And the problem with getting offline is you're going to get left behind. So be okay with being transparent and forget about all this privacy shit. It's a red herring. It is a non-issue, okay? And I've got a law degree. I'm big on privacy. I'm big on, the Constitution and stuff. But online, the privacy stuff is a red herring that will just distract you. Why does Facebook try and keep Google away? Go ahead.
Because then you don't have to be a member of Facebook to use it or search people or get what you want.
The right answer in the midst of all that was search. Okay? At a certain point, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later, you're looking for a new car. You could go to Google and search new car or whatever and see the returns. Or you could go to Facebook and search new car, and you're going to see all the posts from your friends talking about new cars. Which one's more valuable? Because you're seeing stuff that you know are trusted sources, that are people that you care about, that people who have opinions that matter. Do we know how Google is indexing this stuff? It's robots, and it's good, they're geniuses, but it's not the same as if I say, hey, what kind of car do you drive? And you tell me, that means way more to me if you and I were friends than if I just do a Google search. And that's what Facebook has that Google doesn't, and Facebook does not want Google to have that. That is the most powerful information online. That tells us what we really like. If we're looking for a new band, want to listen to some new music, we can type new music into Google. Is that going to help? We'll get a bunch of crap. But you really think we're not going to be able to type something into Facebook and see what all of our friends are listening to? That's where we're going. So organizations do more than make money and satisfy customers. They have a purpose. They have a soul. They have a mantra. They have a sentence. They have something that gets you out of bed. The best ones are full of artists, right? How great. A few years ago, the best ones maybe were full of, Stanford MBAs or something, and there always will be a place for that in a role for those people. But I tell you what, give me the creative person. Give me the artist. The mission is the vehicle, right? This is what drives us. It's the gas. It's the thing. It's what gets us out of bed, right? The vision is that, you know, and I asked you all, create a vision. What does it look like? What does your business look like? What does your life look like, right? And the values keep pushing us along, right? The values are the things that make us go, you know what? I'm going to do it better. This matters more to me. When we start thinking about who we're going to work for, right? I could ask, which companies do you all want to work for? I know the answers already. I don't have to ask. When you're dealing with your company, when you're thinking about what you want to do, right? You're looking for purpose. You're looking for belonging. You're looking for value alignment. And when you hire people or when you put people in your band, you all have made this mistake. You've hired drummer dude because he or she was the one who answered the ad, right? How well did that go? You know, he's Neil Peart and you're not. It's a mess. The values, you guys have all been through this. One of the things I like about teaching business to a class of musicians is that you've all run little businesses because you've all been in bands. And you've seen all the conflict. Let me tell you something. These conflicts don't change even at the higher levels. The same things that you fought about and had friction about with your 4 band members in your high school band are the same problems you're going to have later on because we're people, right? We don't change. There's only 3 ways people change. How? Deep, deep psychotherapy. No. No. Religious conversion. Right? And because I've taken most of my blood, I can't remember the third one. It's religious conversion, deep psychotherapy. Can't remember the third one. So it goes. Beer. Yeah, beer. All right, we talked through this. So just to finish this first little module of the class, right? And this will be a lot of the stuff that's on the first test. Mission, vision, purpose, all those things kind of put a boundary around you. It tells you who you want to work with, where you want to work, who you don't want to work with. You've got to have this mission, vision, values, right? So you can do this fast. So you know when the person who walks through the door to be in your band, to manage you, to be your label, to do whatever, isn't right. You know. Saves a lot of time. And they start to define you as you define them. The true mission, okay? Attract and retain, of course. But it's emotional connection. You get an emotional connection with your customers, with your fans, something magic happens. And they start telling people, right? They start spreading the word. It's how businesses grow. Who do you guys have an emotional connection with? What business? None? What kind? Give me a name of a business. Name of a company. Go ahead. What? Disney. You love Disney. Lots of people have this emotional connection. It makes you happy. It's the happiest place on earth, right? You love Disney. Yeah, I understand that completely. And Disney works very hard to maintain that. Who else has one? Yeah? Pardon? What's Mad Decent?
It's a record label that's run by Diplo.
Run by Diplo? Yeah. Okay, very good. You love this, right? You've got an emotional thing there. You tell people about it. You're happy about it. What else? Products. Who has emotional connections with products? Yeah, what? I'm sorry?
Yamaha motif.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yamaha motif.
Yamaha motif. Oh, your keyboard or whatever. Okay, very good. What else? Yeah.
Car companies,
Like what? You have one?
BMW,
BMW. You love BMWs. Yes. Fender guitars. What else? Yeah.
Carol's dying.
I'm sorry?
Carol's dying.
Carol's daughter. Who is this Carol and what's her daughter like?
It's just a company that she uses like all natural products for.
Very cool. So we have these. I'm surprised nobody said Apple, which is weird. They're, people love Apple. But we all have it, right? We all have, yeah.
Do you really have an emotional connection with those things, or just really like them?
You tell me.
I don't feel emotional connection with anything besides maybe like some groups or bands or artists. But like I don't get emotional about my computer or even this thing I use every day. I just really like it.
It's a fine line. But you did admit that you do have some emotional connection with some bands.
Yeah, but no one mentioned a band.
Well, so he said a record label.
Product.
Yeah, I'm just asking. No, I mean, and we clearly don't want that to happen, given your hip hop. So the emotional connection, right, combined with passion, connection, and capital makes you unstoppable. How do you beat that? You've got fans that love what you do, right? You love what you do. You have your purpose. You start building connections, business development. You start making some money. You kind of can't be stopped. My challenge to you, musicians, people that manage bands, people that are running a small business, whatever, find 100 of them. Can you get to 100 people that genuinely care about what you do? That when you put out music, they will buy it immediately? That when you play a show, they will come immediately? That if you put up a t-shirt for sale, they would buy it immediately? 100. 100. Can you get there? Right? And then can you get to 150? And as we'll see with the tipping point, 150 is kind of a key number. Once you get to 150 people coming together about something, word starts to spread. Spreads particularly fast online. But essentially at 150, you can't have 150 close friends. I don't care how cool you are. You can't. So if you've got 150 people that really care about your thing, your little handmade doll or what, it doesn't matter, whatever that thing is, you get 150 people that really care, it'll spread. You can't get there, something's wrong. Maybe your dolls aren't very good. Any questions on that kind of first little module? All right. Everybody have the books at this point? Books are in the bookstore? Okay, you got some catching up to do, and I'm going to make life easy for you. I'm basically going to, review, and I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions as we go through here. But starting next class, who has their syllabus with them? Any chance? Someone that I can get to without having to thank you. Okay, so on Wednesday, you should have read up through Chapter 5, Business Ethics, okay? And I'll talk on business ethics on that day. And then the following week, we get started on Lexis and the Olive Tree. You'll first need to read the Critical Thinking lecture. So start reading Lexis and the Olive Tree over the weekend. Please note, you don't have to read the whole book as much as I'd like you to. For now, just get through the intro to page 43 and then 9, 10, and 12. And that'll take us up to the first test. So hopefully we're all clear. All right, so no. I still got 15 minutes, right? I think, right? I was just trying to put a wall between one topic and moving on to the second. Right now, this is all stuff that I would have done before had you had your books. So now I'm in a chapter called Successful Business. Right, so as you're reading through, you should have now read up, we just go linearly through here. So we should be up to, if you'd had your books, you'd be up to kind of environment of business, business ethics, all that stuff. And that's essentially what I'm going over. And then I'll also hopefully get through critical thinking before the first test. So up to page 78 is where you're trying to get. Yes?
On your syllabus, you said test 1 is on February 8th. Is that still in place because that's the day after Super Bowl? And I don't know.
I could care less. I love the Saints. I love everything about it. I love this is great. Maybe we'll do it on the Wednesday. But I'm not, come on. I mean, we'll do it. How about this? We'll do it on the Wednesday, okay? Is that fair? Go Saints, who dat, right? I think it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for the city. But the last thing we need is to start not learning because of a football game, right? That's not going to do good for the city. So, had you been able to read, you'd know the answer is about 600,000 businesses started a year. These are, by the way, very good fodder for test questions, right? They're easy multiple choice things. And they come right from the book, and then I put the slides up there. This number has undoubtedly grown because now everybody with a laptop and a GoDaddy URL can start a business. Don't worry about this. I put this up here because every year, because everybody gets it wrong. I say, who's John Kluge? Nobody knows. And then I say, well, you guys haven't been reading because he's one of the people, and by all means do not copy this down, but early on in the book it lists a bunch of business people that are making a lot of money, right? The top businesses. The only one on there that nobody would know is John Kluge. Nobody reads it. So I make the point, I'm going to test on this type of stuff, right? Read. So, again, these are good test questions too. If anybody's read, you know that they talk about Burton snowboards and how Burton got popular, right? And again, I'm essentially giving you test questions here. They allowed snowboards on the mountain, but also, and more importantly to this class, it was this kind of outlaw aspect. This aspect that snowboarding somehow was cool, right? It was outlaw. Give me an example of another outlaw brand. Go ahead. BMX bikes, yeah. What else? Skateboarding, yes. What else? Give me a brand. Give me a product or a service. Hot Topic, exactly. That's a very good one. These are places where essentially what they're trying to do is create places that will piss off your parents, right? I mean, that's all it is. Any music like this? Yes, we call it rap, right? For the most part. Before that, it was, metal. Before that, it was Elvis, whatever. The history of rock and roll has been built on pissing off our parents, the Beatles, right? These are all outlaw or FU brands. Anybody from the Boston area, Newberry Comics? Newberry Comics is very much an outlaw brand. They hire people that look scary, right? Lots of piercings and tattoos and stuff. And it's a weird customer service thing. They're mean to you when you come into the store, right? And yet we do because we want to be as cool as they are, in theory. It's not that cool 20 years later when now they're old and have lots of piercings, but in any case, this outlaw brand, right? There was, I don't know if it still exists, but there was an energy drink called cocaine, right? We know of this. They did that for one reason and one reason only. So mom would come in and go, oh, my Lord, little Jimmy, you can't drink something called cocaine, right? And you can say to mom, right? This is what brand marketers do. Cigarettes, right? Booze. All of this stuff is geared this way. one of the reasons I say that rap has not succeeded the way it was originally. What was the original outlaw gangster rap? NWA. When that came out, it was truly kind of shocking. At this point, you got to do that, right? It's not shocking anymore. It'd be as if I stood up there and said, "Fuck the police," right? In my blazer, right? It's not shocking. So Michael Dell's innovation. Again, all stuff from the book. I try and use this material from the book, but more just tied to something current. So 20 years ago, however long it was, you wanted to buy a computer, you went to the computer store. Said, "I'll take one of those," right? Michael Dell said, in his Austin, Texas dorm room, by the way, "I'm going to start making computers to order. That way I don't have all this inventory. I've got no warehousing costs. Got no obsolescence." Obsolescence is just a funny accounting word, meaning if you got stuff that doesn't sell, it's a cost. What do you do with it? It's sitting there. What was the big thing, however, that Dell did that changed the world? Who did he cut out? Sorry? The middleman. He cut out the middleman. He cut out the idea that, okay, I'm going to make a computer, sell it to a distributor who sells it to a store, who then sells it to the customer. Wrong. What's going on in the music business? Who's getting cut out? The middleman, right? Used to be you signed to a label. They'd help you make a record. The label would sell it to a distributor who would sell it to a store. All along the way, profit margins get eroded. You'd be very lucky as an artist to ever see a royalty, and the label, quite frankly, would be very lucky to see any profit. Now, you make a record, you sell it directly to the fan. This is why I got on your case about the MySpace thing and not your own site. And you know it. You know you need your own site, right? It's fine to sell. I started a company to help people get up onto iTunes called TuneCore, right? I still think it's better for you to sell right off your site. Why give Apple 30%? Why? And there are reasons, but I'd much rather see you sell directly from your website to the customer. Is this unique to the music business? Go ahead.
Wouldn't you say that starting off on Apple would give you a head start and then
Oh, dear Lord. Do we really have to go through this again? How are people going to find you on Apple? Through search. What's your band's name? If you, okay, so my band name is Pure American. So some dude is just going to randomly type Pure American into iTunes. Why would that happen? Really? Which artists do they tend to feature? Who said that? Uh-huh. And what status are those artists that are typically featured? They're major labels, right? Are they featuring a lot of indie artists? They're featuring Pure American just for the hell of it because they like the music? No. They have a business to run. They're not going to feature some artist that no one's ever heard of just because they like it. They're going to feature artists that they think is going to sell. Having your stuff on iTunes is not inherently bad. But the chances of somebody going, I think I'm going to randomly type a band's name in there and hit you is ludicrous. Not the band Ludacris, the rapper Ludacris. You have to have your own site, drive people to that, build up some awareness, get them some music, get them telling their friends who then very well may search iTunes. I agree with that. But don't start there. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm going to keep fighting this battle with you guys. And I'm not sure where the resistance comes from, but we need to work through it because I don't think it's helpful, frankly. Is this unique only to the music business, this cutting out the middleman? What else? Not yet, really, but you think? Yeah. But Amazon becomes the middleman. What I'm talking about is with authors. Why aren't authors selling directly to their fans? Why aren't authors selling directly to their fans? Is it possible? Couldn't I go to a website and download an ebook? Kendall's got that thing wrapped up, but for how much longer? Not much longer. What's coming on Wednesday? The Canvas, right? Movies. You know, the idea that you're going to make a movie, get it to a distributor, have the distributor spend all of that money to market it, promote it, blah, 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 it makes no sense. Make a cool movie, get people downloaded from your site. We used to not be able to do this because the bandwidth was too big. Now it's not. You can download a movie pretty fast. You guys do it all the time. Ship direct, cut out the middleman, this reduce costs, right? Richard Schultz, he went around, took all these other companies, this one company started rebranding it locally. This seemed stupid a couple years ago, and in fact, a lot of these companies are gone, right? But what it means now, it's a counterintuitive thing. As we get more broadly connected because of the internet, local stuff means more. Does that make any sense? And you start seeing things like Yelp, right? And Foursquare. Anybody use Foursquare? Not one of you. Next year at this time, half of you will. It's amazing no one uses Foursquare. Try it out, those of you with iPhone apps. Download Foursquare. What it does is it starts to locate where you are and tell you the other businesses that are around you. We've talked about this before. But so we start getting back to regionalism and localism. It's a very strange, unexpected consequence of the internet, which was supposed to make everything global. We start to understand better what's in our immediate surroundings, and this is really important for bands. Southwest, right? Is this stuff still true? Kind of. I fly Southwest once a week or so, right? It's kind of different, but really, 10 years ago, it was really different. Southwest, you felt like you were really flying someplace on a different type of airline. What's happened? What happened? Why does it not feel so different anymore? Everybody's copied them. Exactly right. Who's the new Southwest, if you had to name one? JetBlue, right? So you get on JetBlue, you got your little TV screen, blah, blah, blah. So this is part of the innovator's dilemma. You make something cool, people copy. The record label I ran, we were the first CD-only label. Crazy how much we hate CDs now, but 20 years ago, people really liked CDs. That lasted all about 6 weeks. Then everybody else started doing CDs. Then we were the first reissue label. We'd take old recordings, remaster them, put new liner notes on them. Great idea. We had about a month or a year where we were the kind of only game in town. Then what? Everybody did it. Lots of airlines tried to do this. Remember TED, right? United's attempt to be Southwest. It's not that easy, but it is replicatable. And this goes back to the purpose. Goes back to a mission. Herb Keller, who started Southwest, has said, our mission, our purpose is to be the low-cost airline. And anybody that comes to me with some idea that takes us away from that mission, the answer is always no. And he tells the story of somebody saying, well, Herb, why don't we serve, sandwiches on our plane? And he said, would that help us be the low-cost airline? The answer is no. We don't do it. Remember back on the last, earlier today when I was saying, these things help frame who you are as bands. Who are you? Are you as indie rock band going to go open for Korn? Right? The right answer is no, and yet you might. Because you think, I don't know, we'll get in front of a lot of people and we'll make some money. I tell you what, it'll do more damage than good. People will throw things at you, right? You will go away disillusioned. You will be sad. You will have to be close to Korn. Businesses fail. One reason and one reason only, bad management. Learn it, love it, memorize it. There's a Trivial Pursuit question. How do all people die, right? And people say, or what's the leading cause of death is a Trivial Pursuit question. People say cancer, blah, blah, blah. The right answer is their heart stops beating. Management is the heart. Oh, well, we didn't innovate. Bad management. We didn't price things right. Bad management. We got acquired, bad management. You know, it always goes back to this. I want you to be good managers, good leaders. All right, we'll stop there.